The other major hire, which came a day or so ago, is news that the Twins have hired. Theo's so excited. My God. Settle down, Theo. The Twins have hired Grady Sizemore to be their base running, outfield, and first base coach. Go ahead, Theo. Let's put a quarter in you. Say anything you need to about Grady Sizemore. Go for it.
I mean, talk about one of the biggest what-if cases in Major League history of if this guy had a healthy trajectory, imagine what could have happened. But we saw a brief glimpse of Grady Sizemore as a manager with that very dismal 2024 Chicago White Sox team. He managed their last 45 games of the season, only got one ejection, and I think Twins fans will appreciate the one umpire who ejected him when he had that incident was Hunter Wendelstedt, so Gardy's old rival. So there's a nice little Twins connection there. But Shelton was the hitting coach for Sizemore during his prime years from 05 to 09 with Cleveland when he was just tearing up the storm and when Ozzie Guillen was praising him as a future Hall of Famer before he really would have hit those peak years. And then the injuries happened. So, I mean, that's a really great addition. As we mentioned, there's the connection already with Shelton from his playing days, leading into someone who has a lot of good major league experience, both experiencing the very highs of the game and the very lows. So that will be good to have. And obviously as the first base coach, he's not going to get much scrutiny there as, you know, he's just going to tell guys when to go and when not to go. And I think it'll be nice to see Ramon Barre go back, who was the first base coach this year, an organizational soldier who has been with the Twins organization since the mid-90s and finally got his first major league coaching job. So it's nice to see they retained him and, you know, rewarded that loyalty there. But Grady Sizemore being added to this coaching staff, I think there's a lot of nostalgia for those of us who grew up in the 2000s. And we're just rooting for good baseball players, even if they were on a division rival with Cleveland. But it's really great to see what he's going to do for this team. And I mean, when I'm down on spring training doing coverage there, that's going to be one of the first coaches I'm going to be gravitating towards just to pick his brain.
Jeremy, before I get your take on Sizemore, I do want to do some level setting here around how good Grady Sizemore was, because I'm conscious that we might have folks who never watched him play because they're younger listeners. So just real quick, Grady Sizemore had kind of 4 peak years, 2005, 6, 7, 8, and Theo alluded to the injury worries. Before that, he was kind of an Iron Man. 2005, 158 games, 2006 and 2007, he played all 162, and then 2008, 157. In 4 seasons, he combined for 27.3 FWAR, which is, I mean, what is that per season? That's 6.8 on average per season. That's literally just like MVP caliber production. Peaking in 2006, his season was a 7.9 FWAR season. We're talking about a guy who at his peak was like a 280, 290 hitter, hit 25 to 30 home runs, stole 25 bases, and played gold glove caliber defense in center field. So for anyone who hasn't had an opportunity to watch him, I strongly urge you to go check out some highlight reels. Super legit. Jeremy, what do you think of Sizemore as a hire? And particularly interesting, I think, in that role around base running, which has been such an area of opportunity, let's call it politely, for the Twins in recent seasons.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's going to have to be his focus. And if the Twins can stop, well, first we have to get on base. But once they're on base, if they can stop running into outs, then I think you deem that a success. The Twins were awful base runners last year.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's lack of athleticism, lack of good decision makers, right? I mean, a lot of times in baseball, it's pretty obvious what you should do. And if it's obvious from someone that's watching the game, I just don't know how you get so fooled by what's happening when you're playing the game. And so if Sizemore can fix that, great. You know, like Theo mentioned, there's a connection there from the past. So I think that it's one of those connections that can stay consistent, maybe for the long haul, as long as Shelton can hold his job. I think it then kind of lends itself to the question, if